gradually from my head down, it was, put it this way, at the end, in the beginning, my body was like it was elevated. But I knew I was like on this table, let my body do its thing, and my breathing also got really slow to where I thought, I wonder if Carlos thinks like I'm dying, because he can't, from the contrast of how my breathing was when I first started and more towards the end. My breaths were so shallow, and there were times when I actually just wasn't breathing, but I was perfectly fine. At peace.
That's big. I know that you had a great session.
It's wonderful.
That peace is very healing. The best feeling somebody can have is peace. Peace, that means that all the chakras are aligned, energy blockages are removed. It's the only way you can feel peace. And your body, what did your body feel?
Felt like I was levitating. Oh. It's really neat. Like as though I was in my body, but again I was removing from my body eventually, and at the end, meaning when you got to my feet, this was like all calming and releasing, and then I could feel like it was pleasant, and then my nephew came in, and I figured that was part of the releasing, because it was something that I came to terms with, and that I think I was still holding on to, because he got killed like about 10 years ago. But he was really my nephew. You know, he came as my nephew.
You had the most powerful and meaningful experiences to feel the peace. And when you levitate, when you feel that you are out of your body, that means that the huge energy blockage that was there, that was meant to be active later, is gone.
I know, thank you. Oh, and another thing that I thought was really neat was, it's hard to put into words because it's a feeling and the energy. It was like and I know the 8, I was doing like this part of my body, and again, like not to my legs yet, but like up here, I was going like a figure 8.
Mm-hmm.
And on both sides, it was really neat, like I was riding a wave.
A wave.
But it would go back into like an 8, tied in first was my breathing, and then what was really cool, and I haven't done that for a long time, because I was laughing, going inside, like I'm not breathing almost. I mean,
I got worried because you weren't
but
breathing.
And I was sending you. I'm like, don't worry, I'm not dying. You know,
I saw your breathing stop for a while.
No, it stopped for a long time.
Yes.
And it was getting like I went from. I mean, it was so shallow. I laughed to myself. I go, I wonder if he's going to get concerned and think I'm dying. It was the death though of some negative energy.
But it's not only that. Yogis in deep state of meditation, they get to this breathless state. And when I meditate deeply, my breath is very slow. You got there. So this energy healing is a deep state of meditation, and you got it all. You got the peace, you have the out of body. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been waiting for like a long time for this again.
This is fantastic.
From the very beginning when I got here, I was beyond stressed and having just an awful, challenging time just to even get here. And what's been going on in my life is very challenging and negative. A lot of different health challenges. So yes, I was stressed and feeling awful.
But what's the intention that you made?
The intention, though, because of all that, my intention in seeing Carlos for the first time was to be rid of all negative energies and blockages and traumas from the past, and to heal my physical, my emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. I want to get rid of all the junk. Start getting well. My body went beginning stressed out. I was breathing heavily, and my body, all my muscles were tight, and I have symptoms of like neuropathy and tingling numbness. However, as Carlos, in the process, it was really cool. But I could feel like, I'd also decided to, after my intention, to just let my body do what it needed to do and receive, let go of all the negative energy from the past or wherever, whatever, and just go with the flow. And it was so cool because little by little, I could tell the difference in my arms first, my hands. I know the difference between numbness and lack of circulation, but this was like lightness of being. And gradually from my head down, it was, put it this way, at the end, in the beginning, my body was like it was elevated. But I knew I was like on this table, and it's hard to put the feeling to describe it accurately in words. But I just let my body do its thing, and my breathing also got really slow to where I thought, I wonder if Carlos thinks like I'm dying, because he can't, from the contrast of how my breathing was when I first started and more towards the end. My breaths were so shallow, and there were times when I actually just wasn't breathing, but I was perfectly fine.
What were you thinking when you were not breathing?
I was laughing and giggling, like I hope he doesn't think I'm dead, because I'm not. I'm just like going, not to sound cuckoo, but like I could tell I was like almost like astral traveling, like my body was there. I knew what was going on cognitively, but I was just having fun. And also, I was trying to tell Carlos the experience, the feeling of riding this wave in a figure 8, for lack of a better way to say it. And it was so soothing, and it felt wonderful. And I knew it was like riding on a magic carpet. There we go. Yes, I believe in all these things, but it was wonderful. And so, and also, before Carlos moved further down into my aura, energy field, whatever you want to call it, my left leg kept like doing his jerk eventually, and I thought, wow. But then I got to thinking too, well, if my intention was to be rid of negative energy blockages, this was what my body was doing to purge this crap out of me. Also, I had a real emotional moment in the in-between, and more than likely when Carlos was somewhere in my solar plexus field for feelings and my heart, because it brought something from the past that's real like touching to me with a death of my nephew. And I started crying, but like tears like were shedding, but I wasn't sad. It was like, I just like knew it was part of a release.
The sensation was like you were floating.
Right, I said that with my magic carpet. When I said I was like figure 8. But with my nephew, the difference was it wasn't so much pain. It wasn't so much painful. I knew, again, it was like a real letting that go. It's hard to explain. It's not like, again, like I'm regretting anything with him. It was just like to let it go, the memory of something that finally occurred to me just within the last year, that thinking I didn't save him from his death, which was never my job, So with releasing that, then all the more, there is no guilt in me, because I never even realized that, because I thought I had no guilt because I loved him while he was alive. So I didn't know there was any, like, whatever you want, any residual post-traumatic stress and guilt over this. So when I had that aha moment, it was like, no, I need to let this go, because that's what was supposed to be. He lived like he was supposed to.
When we finish the session, I ask you, how do you feel? What do you tell me?
Wonderful, and just at peace. And to me, happiness is fleeting. Peace is just,
Deeper.
Yes, it's like, again, that's what I strive for. I don't strive for happiness, comes and goes. But peace, but to be at peace no matter what happens. Like, in the eye of the storm, it's like, which I do have an uncanny ability, like when there is chaos, for some reason I'm like the calmest one. Like in the middle, but
in physics, in science, there is a calmness in the middle of a tornado, in a storm. And that's kind of like how I am. Yeah, I can create storms too. But anyway, I just think anybody that can, and I don't promote, anybody, anything, a product, a service, unless I believe 100% in it. And I feel like, obviously I'm talking so freely, I just feel totally just blissed right now and just at peace, excited, because this is what I've been wanting for a long time. So I recommend Carlos to anybody. Again, Reiki is wonderful. If somebody knows what they're doing, of course, like anything, and it's a wonderful experience. I want everyone and anyone to share the type of experience that I have, and the knowledge.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure.